Okay, welcome back to Real Money. Once again, I have Vanya Boskovic, buy specialist, with me. After our last couple of videos, we had few requests from different followers of ours. Vanya, you've been very popular. Other than your parents, I think there are a few people watching you.
Seems like it. Well, we're giving out good information, so hopefully it does help a few people, and hopefully we can show more with this video.
Sure. So we have a real life scenario where one of my clients who is actually looking at investing $500,000 deposit plus the borrowing. They already have a live-in property where they live and they paid down the debt quite a lot. And now they're looking at taking the step of buying investment property. So without any delay, Vanya, where's the best opportunity to invest $500,000 in real estate?
Now, a lot of people sort of look locally when it comes to that. So you can either look for sort of units which are getting very good yields. You know, you're buying for $300,000 to $400,000 and you're getting sort of $300, $400 per week rent respectively. Or you can look at regional New South Wales, like for example Wagga Wagga. Outer parts of Wagga Wagga, they got also similar sort of deals, but you get land with that. Other areas to consider is interstate. Brisbane and Perth are getting massive amounts of people coming through. Population's growing. And Brisbane in particular, infrastructure they're spending billions of dollars now on new things, rail, Brisbane Live, Olympic Games. Don't think we'll be competing in that, but it's something to look forward to, and definitely when that time comes, the rent will be extremely high as well.
Now, for a simple person like me, I think that's a little bit way too much information, Vanya, so I'm going to ask one by one. So isn't there a myth like when you buy a unit, it doesn't grow more in value? So what would you say to that?
Look, it probably doesn't grow as fast, but the good thing is when you're buying a unit, I mean, there's not actually that many being built anymore. Now, building has come down extreme amounts in Australia, not a lot of applications being put in. So that means, one, they're going to be in more demand from people, and the rent will grow because they're in really good locations where the zoning is there. So infrastructure is already there, so they will eventually grow in value.
So the long-term holding, for example, if you got a higher rental return, you can pay it down quicker and you can pay it off. And then that gives you that passive income from there. Now you'll see some in the background there in Wagga Wagga. What would you say to the people who would say, look, I don't know the town that well, or even buying interstate, I have never been there. What are your thoughts? I mean, I know personally you bought 2 properties without looking at them and you're enjoying the benefits of that in capital growth and rental return. What would you say to that?
Look, it's something where you just got to go for it. Of course, you do your research behind it, ask around, ask local agents, don't just ask the one, ask multiple, maybe give a couple calls to businesses around. They'll give you good insights, family-owned businesses, so do some research in terms of that. But if you find that, okay, this area is good, it's getting good rent, there is some capital growth in it, go for it.
So capital growth, I would understand if you're targeting maybe go into the regional New South Wales or interstate, where property values are sub 600K and under, and with a good rental yield as well. And they have more room to grow. But if you're looking at good rental return, maybe go inner city apartments within your price range. And in this case, for example, I would say you can buy an apartment under $500,000 in Granville, Auburn, some parts of Lidcombe in the red brick buildings. They give a very good rental yield and you can pay it off very quick as well. And also, I want 3 key takeaway points on like when you're looking at buying interstate, other than calling the local agents and businesses, how would you choose a property? I want your personal experience in that.
So I look at the rental return of that property, what sort of the agent is quoting, but then also look at other comparable rentals in the area. So if they're sort of going for around the same price and they're getting leased out very quickly, that means the property itself is going to be getting that amount. Otherwise, if they're sort of asking for that amount, but there's a lot of properties for rent, and they're not getting leased out quick, that means you most likely won't get that rent and you'll have to drop your expectation. So as long as you know sort of where the rent is at, then you should go for it.
Rental amount, vacancy, what else?
Population, and sort of look at what sort of jobs people out there, who's renting in the area, so the demographic. So if you have, for example, let's say Western Australia where there is mining, so you will know miners going to be renting there, but they'll only be renting for 6 to 12 months because then they'll come back home and then they'll come back. So don't expect long-term maybe tenants. So always have that little fund there just in case that you need to put in some money when there isn't a tenant in there.
So would it be fair to say always budget for like your property is going to be occupied occupied for 10 months a year?
I'll probably say 44, 46 weeks, because if you're not getting tenant within a month, then there's something wrong, either with the property itself or with the price expectation that you're asking for.
Okay, once again, thank you very much for watching. And if you have any questions, please comment below or reach out to us. We're more than happy to cover these topics and share the knowledge.